Back, guys, to another one of these little alternate history free map painting just for fun videos. So yeah, and in this video I am going to be going ahead and talking about what if the Ottomans had won at Vienna in 1683. Obvious point of divergence, and obviously I don't intend to have a crystal ball. I'm going to get things wrong. It's inevitable. It's alternate history. Nothing can actually be proven anyway. But just a thought experiment, just for fun. That's all my alternate histories are. They're just for fun. I especially, don't want to hear any nationalists in the constantly like, oh, you said this bad thing about my country. I know it would have been different because of this historical reason. You're horrible. Shut up. But if you want to give constructive criticism, like, hey, because of this, I think that this would have actually gone differently. Now you said, if you want to be respectful about it, yes, please, I encourage that. But anyway, it's enough of that. So I'll just assume again, Poland, Lithuania doesn't join into the war for some reason. Different politics, who knows. And I thought about this before I actually started the video. I would guess that the Ottomans would be able to get control over Austria itself and Bohemia, but just due to logistical reasons, like their campaigns primarily started out of Constantinople, so getting Silesia, would they? It's a stretch, but I'll go ahead and say they do. But this might be 50-50. Okay, so I'll just say these are the borders. Of course, I got to go ahead and, Hungary would have to, something like that. So what changes now? So you still have the whole 9 years war thing that would happen. Austria wouldn't be involved, obviously. So what was the sides again? 9 years war over here. Shit, that. Aus. Yeah, so it's, would the result change? Maybe a little. I'll assume this and the War of the Polish Succession. I just won't assume it changes too, just for the sake of ease of this scenario. I do think that with Austria gone, Bavaria is most likely to become the next Holy Roman Emperor, most aspects of, Catholic. They've been electing Catholics for a while already, and also, although that wasn't as important by the late 17th century, but, still, I mean, they were a decently powerful state, it's hard to say, but I'll go ahead and assume that they become the Holy Roman Emperor right after Austria is subdued. But, Prussia would be a serious contender as well. Soon enough they would also get this. From there, War of the Spanish Succession. So, King of Spain would still die, obviously. I don't think nobody would have a truly legitimate claim, but at the same time, I don't expect the powers of Europe to just be like, oh, let's let France dominate. So most likely you do still see a war, probably with an attempt to put the Wittelsbach, the Bavarian dynasty, again onto the Spanish throne. I expect the war to end up slightly worse for the anti-Bourbon side without the Austrians, but I think especially with John Churchill at the Battle of Blenheim, that I don't see the French wiping the floor with their enemies. I will guess that just roughly, I'll go ahead and say that the sort of Spanish Netherlands Rhineland area that existed here, right? Because if you look at, what was it, Europe map 1700, if I just throw that out. Okay. There was this. I don't really do extensive research before these. I just kind of do them on the fly because I find that more fun. I make YouTube videos for enjoyment. I don't make them because I wanna, If you want like serious, in-depth, it'll for sure be accurate history. Go read an actual book or go watch, go watch somebody who doesn't just do this stuff just for fun as a hobby. Is I guess the idea. It seems like there was a little Spanish ownership in that area, okay. Spanish Luxembourg, that's what that was, right. Okay, so I will go ahead and, assume that Spain keeps all their shit, but besides that, nothing is different from our world, just no Austria, Netherlands, or anything. Beyond that, War of the Austrian Succession, I'll go ahead and say it happens in Bavaria, just for fun. the Prussians wouldn't have gotten the HRE emperorship yet, but they would be craving it. The Protestant states would be wanting it a lot too. So I do think it makes sense that there would be like a little whole conflict over that. So realistically, Prussia and Bavaria end up on opposite sides. It wouldn't be strictly Catholic versus Protestant because again, religion not being that important. But you would probably have some HRE states siding with Prussia, some siding with Bavaria. The actual specifics are unpredictable. So I expect that to happen. Or of the Bavarian succession, I guess. It would have a different trigger, maybe the French try and put the Bourbon on the throne, because, woman on the throne, like Maria Theresa in our world, but somebody different. Get somebody else, maybe who's kind of related to Wittelsbach's kind of, or somebody may fail. So you would have, I guess, France, Prussia, versus, double check, refresh myself on the actual powers. Okay, yeah, so they would all be the same, but Prussia and Bavaria would be fighting each other, and Prussia on the French side still, and well, yeah, I think the Ottomans and Russians would probably sit it out. How would that war turn out? Well, Frederick the Great, powerful guy, France is involved. I expect, quite frankly, I expect the Bavarians to lose. So Bavaria would get a French monarch, becoming the Holy Roman Emperor, and France dominates the HRE for some time. But that pisses off the Prussians, and all of a sudden Prussia and France go back to being rivals. Or go back to, not even really, but become rivals solidly. So that happens. And then you would have 7 Years' War still. It broke out in North America, so it would still happen here. How that would turn out? Again, was there Netherlands involved? Just double check, I don't think so, but... Sieben. Yeah, well, I don't know why I said it all out in German, but... Yeah, there's probably internal political reasons why the Dutch wouldn't, because it seems weird on the surface, but there's probably reasons why, so I won't try and shove them into the... 718, 719, okay. So Prussia's definitely going to be against France. I will say that the Ottomans take the opportunity to strike against the HRE, which would result in probably would mean going against the French, because they would be the predominant power. But the Ottomans, even though they wouldn't have had the damage of the Great Turkish War, they would still be institutionally decaying, so it would be the Prussians who would be doing most of the potency, but the Ottomans could still bring a lot of numbers, which would still be valuable. And Russia would therefore be joining against, and the Russian borders here are fucking weird. First of all, gonna correct some things actually. Yeah, Russia's, they wouldn't have Central Asia and shit, but I don't even know what I'm not sure what the Caucasian border should be, so I'm not gonna bother with them, but something like this. Yeah, and then something like that. Okay. So you would have, I guess the sides, the colors don't matter, whatever. So something like, okay, well, I'll go with this then. I'll go with this for the borders. And I'll say Sweden opportunistically joins because they want to, take some northern Prussian lands. Prussia did well against the Austrians, you would still have a Prussophile taking the Russian throne, just like in our world. There's no reason that doesn't still happen, so... You still get a, British, Prussian sort of victory. And the Ottomans would ultimately win, as well. I do expect them to get some extra influence over the HRE. The fact of the matter is that the British and the Prussians would have to negotiate with them one way or another. There just wouldn't be a way around it, so... I would say let me just redo some recoloring here. Oh wait, no. Yeah, so I expect the Prussians to get more influence, some lands. I'll go ahead and say they annex Saxony. That seems plausible enough, because they probably would have been pulled into the French orbit anyway. Maybe But I don't expect too many annexations to happen though. So I'll just assume that as well. But they become the Holy Roman Emperor. That's not in question. That's not in question. And then with that done, I suppose the Ottomans would get some like sort of vassal states. Big damage to imperial prestige, but I won't even bother to like color them individual. So like roughly like a line along here becomes Ottoman control, and the rest is Holy Roman Empire under Prussian influence. Oh, and you know, prestige again. Yeah, fuck it. I'll give them even more. I'll say Prussia takes those areas to Luxembourg, and yeah, why not? Why not? Fuck it, why not? Okay. What comes next in Europe? Ottomans will still be declining. They would get weaker and weaker. What was it? You had the like Russo-Turkish. What was it, like the 1760s? Catherine the Great fought. Yeah. What were the results of that? Before the war. Aftermath. If I look at this, so just look up the every year videos. Those are two. Yeah. Russo-Turkish War. 1768 or something? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Every year. Where are you? Oh, there isn't an every year video. Okay. Oh wait, no, there is. Okay. Autumn. Wait, what? Okay. I'm not sure exactly, but I think it would be roughly like this area gets taken over. So I'll assume that happens just like in our world, and obviously, you know, the vultures would be circling at this point against the Ottomans in this situation. So yeah, you know, just roughly strong victory in the Caucasus. This may not reflect exactly how it was in real life, but I can't really be asked to, you know. Again, if you want proper academic history, don't come here, yada yada yada. I'm not gonna repeat myself too much on that. Okay, so there's that. Next. Of course, you have the American Revolution, which also affected Europe. You know, you had the partitions of Poland as well. So I expect Prussia to still be doing that. Yeah. Prussia, Russia, yeah. You'd have all. The French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars are still gonna happen, so I'll finish mapping all that in a second. I expect the Prussians and Russians to actually probably, to an extent, try and exclude the Ottomans, though, for religious reasons, because they, you know, well, maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't, I don't know. No, I'll just assume the Ottomans play the role of Austria. No, fuck it, I'm not gonna. They'll end up getting weaker anyway later. It's fine. Tradition. Okay, anyway. Yeah, OCD moments. So, French Revolutionary War still happen. You still have the coalitions and everything. France still takes, you know, Benelux and everything. Napoleon still rises. I'll assume, again, Ottomans, kind of analogous to Austria. So, Russia, Ottomans, Britain, equivalent of fucking Austerlitz happens. Probably results in Bohemia being split off. And Austria being split off as well as a French puppet state. So, this area. Ottoman Germany would be liberated as well. And I guess an equivalent of the 1809 war could still happen, maybe with Hungary even being liberated, things like that. So pretty devastating overall. Yeah, so I expect the Ottomans to suffer a lot from the Napoleonic Wars in this timeline. We'll just go ahead and, yeah, Napoleon would still be defeated, you would still have everything, yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and roughly, I'll go ahead and actually time-lapse this part because this is gonna be really long, so this is gonna get sped up in the final cut. Hey, you, yes, you, the one who's sitting on the toilet right now watching this. Time lapse is over. So, yeah, okay, obviously Sweden, Norway still forming everything. Yeah, I forgot that part, but anyway, that's of secondary importance. So, I expect this to be the borders of Europe, so similar Congress of Vienna to our timeline. I still expect Germany, like Prussia to get Silesia, you know. The Ottomans would still be the black sheep of the negotiations, you know. Again, Muslim large empire. I guessed they would keep this, but they would lose some areas. And they would be in a fragile state by this point. Austria and Bohemia gain independence again, things like that. But for the most part, it's not that different from our world. So long European peace, Ottomans would be slowly disintegrating, you know, not really surprised there. You would see the Balkans still shit themselves like in our world. Hungary would be a part of it though. This area would be a part of it. Yeah, so... And you'd probably see like Hungarian wars with the other minorities, the Russians, the Serbs, things like that. Let's not forget about the US and the Americas, although it's not even worth... Yeah, the Americas would be basically the same as in our world. There's not even reason to do anything there. So this happens. The Crimean War is the first point where I could see anything really changing. So I think you would still have it, and again, balance of power, everything like that. Russia still loses. I don't know, I guess Ottomans get back influence here, and, you know, some land here, but overall not huge changes. And then you would have the whole, like, Russo-Turkish War, 1877 to 1878, so... half-assedly, I'll map it out. Time-lapse again, though, because this is going to take some time. Yeah, something like this, I guess. So... Pan-Slavism, of course, with the Ottomans still controlling Croatia, and Venice wouldn't have this to live with. Yeah, still controlling Croatia and Bosnia. There wouldn't, you know, they would just be joining immediately. And to set up a stage for an interesting Great War, I'm gonna have Hungary have Transylvania still. And Slovakia. Okay, beyond that, what else? What else happened in war-wise? Not, well, you had... Because German unification would still happen pretty... Yeah, I don't expect it to go too differently, to be honest. Or, well, no, it would go differently, but Prussia would be a lot less rivaled, is the point, so... And they would be in favor of a German empire without all the little minorities, so I expect Germany to unify... Probably not as quickly as, maybe, or I don't know, it might be some of our work, because of course the European states would still be kind of scared of, you know, a huge united Germany, but, you know, let's say Bismarck still rises to power, still engineers a war with France, you know. I'm biased because I'm a Germanophile, but if nothing else, just because of the interesting effect on European politics, yeah, I'll still have Germany unify. And with Austria not being a power, really, and just being another German state, I think that they would be a part of the country from the beginning. Again, showing my bias here, ich liebe Deutschland, yeah, but you know, still, this is something I'll still incorporate anyway. So, okay, something like that then. World War I, similar sort of timeline. I expect France, Britain, Russia to all still oppose Germany. Germany would be going through the Netherlands rather than just Belgium in this timeline, so I'll go ahead and, yeah, let's map this one out decently well. Ottomans would still be on their asses, of course, and I think the Germans would still reach out to them. And I can't really ask the map of Africa because of how unimportant it is. So, So Germany, I'll say it's a conflict between the Hungarians and the Serbs that starts it, so similar ideas in our world, but not exactly. Romania wants Transylvania, so they join the war immediately rather than having to wait, and Bulgaria joins against them, so the Balkans are a part of it a lot quicker than in our world. I think that's a logical assumption to make, I think. Or actually no, Bulgaria waited, yeah, no, they waited even in our time, even with reasonable grievances, so never mind. Okay. Netherlands have sort of, their geography's kind of shit, because the Germans can just kind of waltz around here, but at the same time they can flood themselves. Blitzkrieg, as we know it, didn't exist. Yeah, Italy would join too. They don't have any reason not to. And or actually, no, Germany would still. Nah, no, they would join against Germany. They would be a part of the Entente eventually because of South Tyrol and everything. Okay, so although the lack of gaining from Yugoslavia would be it's a coin toss, but I'll just say they joined the Entente still. This is confusing though with. So never mind that. So, yeah. So you would have, yeah, probably kind of again similar. You know, Germany makes it somewhat in. You know, there's U.S. still joins, Germany still loses. It wouldn't be that different from our timeline. In that regard, Russia still falls to communism. Blah blah blah. Germany, you know, Germany would still probably have their whole Nazi thing and things like that. So yeah, no, the broad history of the 20th century just would not change much. I just don't see any reason why it would, why it could. Yeah. It's a little boring, but the Ottomans still collapse, Turkey would still form. The world ends up about the same as in our timeline. I just don't see a way around it. It's a little depressing that now it's changed, but hey, things happen for a reason, don't they? Goodbye.